He had just finished an important business meeting and rushed toward the next one. The heavy Rolls-Royce lost control instantly, tires screeching loudly on the asphalt road. The car continued sliding forward slowly, carrying its passenger toward certain doom. Inside the vehicle, Jonathan's heart pounded wildly as fear gripped him tightly. "No, no, no," he cried out desperately, his chest tightening with panic. He tried opening the door forcefully, but it remained completely jammed shut. Bare feet hit the hot tar road as she ran toward the danger. To the terrified man trapped inside, she became nothing short of a miracle. The stone was heavier than anyone thought a woman like her could lift. For a long moment, the crowd remained frozen, unsure of what happened. Then the Rolls-Royce door creaked open slowly, and Jonathan stepped out shakily. His hands trembled uncontrollably, his forehead drenched with cold sweat from fear. He stared first at the stone, then directly at the woman who saved him. Jonathan walked toward her slowly, struggling to find the right words to say. "You saved my life," he finally managed, voice filled with deep gratitude. Amara simply shrugged casually and replied softly, "It's nothing worth mentioning." Jonathan blinked in surprise at her calm and perfectly spoken English voice. "Why would you risk your own life to save a stranger like me?" "Because, if you died without help, you might end up just like me." Her powerful words struck him deeply, like a sudden bolt of thunder. Jonathan ignored the growing murmurs and stepped even closer to her. "Who are you really?" he asked gently, searching deeply into her eyes. "I used to be a data scientist," she replied quietly and calmly. "What kind of accident happened to you?" Jonathan asked with concern. "I was in the car with my parents when it flipped over. They both died instantly, but I survived with a severe head injury. Something changed inside my brain, and I was never the same. I lost my family, friends, job, home, and everything I knew. People started calling me wicked and said I was cursed forever. That's how I ended up living on the streets for years. I've been sitting on that concrete slab for 5 long years. I spent my days counting passing cars with no real purpose. No one ever stopped to ask me why I was there." Jonathan felt a large lump rising painfully in his throat. "I once saved a small baby from being hit by a bike. I pulled her from the road just in time to save her. No one thanked me or even acknowledged what I did. They just called me mad and walked away without care." Jonathan slowly knelt down in front of her on the dusty road. His expensive navy blue abadar swept across the dirty ground carelessly. He didn't care about the dust or what anyone else thought. "You're not mad at all," he said firmly, with trembling voice. "I see your heart, your sharp mind, and incredible inner strength." Without another word, he stood and walked into the nearby supermarket. The confused crowd watched silently, wondering where the billionaire was going. Maybe he's calling the police to handle this strange situation. No, I think he's actually buying something important right now. Minutes passed slowly before Jonathan emerged, carrying a small, elegant box. In his hand was a classic ring box that caught the light. He walked straight back to Amara and dropped to one knee. He opened the box carefully, revealing a sparkling diamond ring inside. It's definitely some kind of ritual or dangerous juju. But Jonathan's clear voice silenced every doubt and whisper instantly. "Amara," he said gently, looking deeply into her surprised eyes, "will you marry me and share your life with me forever?" Her mouth opened slightly in complete shock as she blinked rapidly. "What?" she whispered, unable to believe the moment was real. "I'm completely serious about this proposal from my heart. You saved my life today. Now let me save yours forever. I'll get you all the help and support you truly need. I'll stand firmly by your side no matter what happens. I believe deeply in you and your incredible potential. Please start this beautiful journey together with me as partners." She stared silently at the shining ring for a long moment. Her eyes filled slowly with warm tears of overwhelming emotion. The forgotten woman was finally being truly seen and valued. She slowly extended her trembling hand toward the waiting ring. Jonathan gently placed the sparkling diamond ring on her finger. The watching crowd erupted in mixed cheers and continued whispers. But they didn't understand the depth of his sincere intentions. He opened the car door gently and helped her inside carefully. People shouted loudly, some recorded videos, others screamed in protest. He drove away calmly past stares, insults, and surrounding noise. They arrived at a beautiful white private rehabilitation center in Lekki. There, Amara began her long journey toward healing and recovery. Jonathan visited faithfully every single day without ever missing one. He brought delicious meals, interesting books, and brand new clothes. He read stories to her and told her many light jokes. His consistent presence showed unwavering care and genuine love. But soon he had to travel urgently to Dubai for business. When he finally returned, the sky glowed beautifully golden that evening. The fresh air carried the pleasant scent of approaching rain. He walked into the center and immediately stopped in his tracks. There stood Amara, transformed and radiant in every possible way. Her hair was neatly packed, her skin glowing with health. She wore a soft emerald green gown that fit perfectly. She looked truly like a queen sitting gracefully on her throne. Jonathan could not speak at first, overcome with deep emotion. She smiled warmly and said softly, "You're back safely now." He walked forward slowly, tears beginning to fill his eyes. "You have healed so beautifully," he whispered in awe. She nodded gently and replied, "Because you truly believed in me." He stepped closer tenderly, cupped her cheek with care. He gently kissed her forehead as they both wept quietly. Everyone who once laughed never expected this incredible transformation. A billionaire had fallen deeply in love with a madwoman. The man himself has clearly gone completely mad too. Some blogs claimed he was under some powerful love spell. Others called the entire story a clever publicity stunt. But one thing remained clear: everyone was watching closely. Inside the lush garden of the Lekki Rehabilitation Center peacefully, Amara sat comfortably under a large white umbrella outside. Her personal journal lay open gently on her lap. For the first time in many years, she wrote freely. Her thoughts, dreams, and past pain flowed onto the pages. Her long hair blew softly in the gentle evening breeze. Her fingers were now clean, her skin glowing with vitality. The nurses at the center adored her kind and quiet nature. The therapists were genuinely amazed by her rapid progress. What truly shocked everyone was the sharpness of her mind. She solved complex puzzles quickly in just a few minutes. She understood advanced algorithms as naturally as breathing air. Her memory remained incredibly sharp despite everything she endured. Her conversations were always deep, thoughtful, and insightful. "She's not just intelligent," one therapist told Jonathan privately. "She's truly exceptional in every way we have tested." Jonathan smiled proudly and replied, "I knew it from day one." That peaceful afternoon, he sat beside her on the garden bench. He held a thick brown file carefully in his hands. "What's inside that folder?" she asked curiously, peeking over. "It's a formal job offer prepared especially for you." She blinked in surprise and asked, "For who exactly?" "For you, Amara, because you deserve this opportunity now. You want me to come work directly for you, not simply because you're my fiancé and I love you, but because you're a genuinely brilliant data scientist. I asked around discreetly about your past professional reputation. Your name is still remembered fondly in the industry. You were considered one of the very best in your field. I want you back fully in the professional game now, not out of pity, but pure belief in your talent." Amara smiled faintly and asked softly, "What if I fail?" "Then we'll face that failure together and keep moving forward." Her eyes filled with emotional tears at his unwavering support. This was no longer just a fairy tale dream. This love story had become beautifully and powerfully real. But unfortunately, not everyone felt happy about their bond. In a tall office building located in Ikoyi that day, Cassandra, Jonathan's former fiancée, threw a magazine angrily across room. The cover featured their engagement with bold, dramatic headlines. "Billionaire Jonathan Okoro, engaged to former streetwoman now." Former what, exactly? Cassandra screamed furiously in jealous rage. "He left me coldly for a mad woman from streets." Beside her stood her father, Chief Oda, frowning deeply. "This entire situation can't be good for serious business. If he actually marries her, the board won't respect him." Cassandra's face twisted painfully with overwhelming jealousy and anger. "No, he absolutely won't marry her if I stop it. I'll personally make sure this wedding never happens." Back in peaceful Lekki, Amara improved faster than expected. Within just 2 weeks, she consulted with top tech experts. They were completely shocked by her brilliant and innovative input. Jonathan watched her work with deep admiration and respect. He didn't just love her deeply from his heart. He genuinely respected her mind and professional capabilities. One beautiful evening, they sat together on the center balcony. The view overlooked the calm and shimmering lagoon below. He handed her a small, carefully wrapped gift box. She opened it slowly and discovered a brand new smartphone. The phone had a sleek and elegant silver case. "It's time you reconnect fully with the outside world. You truly deserve to be seen and heard again." She touched the screen gently like it was pure magic. Her hands trembled slightly with overwhelming emotion and gratitude. "Thank you so much," she whispered softly to him. But then her expression shifted suddenly to quiet concern. "Jonathan," she said softly, "what if people reject my change? They don't have to believe anything about your journey. I survived being completely forgotten by the world. I survived what they called madness and deep isolation. I survived a cruel world that ignored my brokenness. This online noise is nothing compared to that pain." Jonathan stepped closer and said, "Amara, I'm so proud." She smiled warmly and replied, "Then give them real news." Weeks passed peacefully as Amara continued, healing steadily. Finally, she was officially discharged from the rehabilitation center. In a private interview on Popular Channel's TV station, Jonathan stood proudly beside her as they announced engagement. "I know this story looks completely crazy to many, but she saved my life. Now I save hers forever." Amara wore a stunning green lace gown with gold earrings. She sat with incredible poise and quiet confidence. When asked about going from mad to madly loved, she smiled gently and said profound words calmly. "Sometimes being deeply broken gives better view of real people. He's completely real in every way that truly matters." The entire country watched, stunned by her grace and wisdom. Love had beautifully rewritten her painful life story, but Cassandra remained determined and far from finished. She made one final secretive call to Amara's dark past, a man carrying a dangerous secret that could ruin everything. The sun was barely rising when the phone call came. Amara stood in the grand kitchen of Jonathan's mansion. She wore a soft, comfortable blue robe, sipping Zubo. She had just moved in and admired the sparkling mansion. The marble floors and gold fixtures impressed her deeply, but what touched her heart most was a framed photo. It was their first selfie together after her discharge. Then suddenly the house phone rang loudly in mourning. She answered casually with a calm and friendly voice. "Hello," she said politely into the receiver. The cold, unfamiliar voice replied, "So you're famous now, Madwoman." Her blood froze instantly, recognizing the voice after years. Yuche laughed bitterly on the other end of line. "Oh, now you suddenly remember my voice clearly. You left me completely behind when things got hard." Amara's lips trembled as she replied, "That's simply not true. You think the world will forgive your past so easily. You disappeared and now play princess with billionaire money. I didn't leave anyone behind. I was seriously sick. No one searched for me or tried to help. Amara, you vanished completely when I needed you most. Now that you're rich again, you think we'll stay quiet. You owe me something for everything I went through." She tried desperately to remain calm and composed. "What exactly do you want from me now?" You'll find out very soon what I have planned. The world doesn't know your full dark story yet." Click. The line went dead, leaving her in shock. Amara stood frozen, holding the phone tightly in hand. Her heart raced wildly as her mind spun faster. She hadn't yet told Jonathan absolutely everything about past. That evening, Jonathan returned early from his busy office. He found her staring quietly out the wide glass window. The view overlooked beautiful and exclusive Banana Island. He approached from behind and hugged her waist gently. "You're unusually quiet today," he observed with concern. "I remembered someone painful from my past today." He turned her gently to face him directly. "Do you want to talk openly about it now?" She hesitated briefly, then nodded slowly in agreement. "There was a man named Ooch from my early career. He was a fellow intern during my first tech job. When I lost my parents and began breaking mentally, he stayed close and was one of few supporters. I trusted him far too much with personal things." Jonathan listened carefully without interrupting her painful story. "I remember giving him full access to my projects, my unique algorithms, and valuable personal data sets. But when I collapsed and went to public hospital, he completely vanished without a single word or visit. When I returned weeks later trying to resume work, all my hard work and projects were mysteriously gone. Ooch had stolen everything and sold to foreign firm. He claimed I was mentally unstable and unreliable. No one believed my side or investigated properly. That betrayal was when I finally stopped fighting. I gave up completely and sat by that juncture. And now, after years, he's suddenly back threatening me." Jonathan took her hand gently and squeezed reassuringly. "Let him try whatever he plans to do. But what if he twists truth and people believe? Then we will tell our full truth first publicly." The next morning, Jonathan organized a major press conference. Cameras flashed brightly as reporters gathered eagerly. But surprisingly, it was Amara who stepped to microphone. She wore a fitted orange jumpsuit with natural makeup. Her voice remained steady and powerful throughout speech. "I was betrayed multiple times by life and people, but I'm no longer hiding from my painful past.